Ministry of Education could ever support the idea of Ascot Primary School separating or segregating students who did quote-unquote poorly from students who did quote-unquote well in PEP. Because what I find people believe is doing poorly or doing well is your placement status. So if you never place a campaign, you did do poor. And if you did place one pap in high school, you do poor. Come on, man. These are kids. These are children. It's never that serious. Not at that stage. Not at that stage. Because if any ministry official did come at my school and see me as a teacher, put all of the weak students them in a one over there, and all of the strong students them over there, say, would that be problem? It would have be problem in the ears of Miss Brown and segregate our students them and who dunce and who bright and who this and who that. My duty as a teacher is to teach my class. If a 35 of them in there, if one dunce, all of them dunce. And my opinion that if one bright, all of them bright. I tell people all the time, I have never believed in the idea of teaching one session and then I go give 3 different work. Struggling, intermediate and strong. Me not believe in that. A one exam the whole of them I do. One exam. I believe that I should start from struggling to strong. And that's what I believe. So we start off everybody at struggling. And and make sure some have enough questions that if some students need to do more questions, because you have some students like that, you know, them know say them weak and them would say, Miss, me tell them man, I have 2 little girls in a grade 8. Velcro them. Velcro. Them sit down, Miss, give me 2 more questions, I'm go home, go do, and them sit down right there so and do it. And when them done, them come, Miss, it correct? Miss, what me for do? Miss, you think me can try one more? Give me one next one, give me one harder one. You have students like that. Imagine if me tell you, say you don't say for go over this, so. Just imagine, imagine that. Just imagine that. Imagine a child, me looking at them and telling them, oh, you don't say for go over this, so. Just imagine that. No child deserves, my opinion still, you know, no child deserves that, and I would never want to be a teacher that makes my students, any of my students feel like that. Am I going to say I am perfect? Me telling them all the time I am not perfect. But me no want to be that teacher that when my student remember me as a teacher. When they say, boy, you know, so she done and I'm done and me write him off. I never want to be that type of teacher. No student deserves to feel ostracized because they didn't do quote unquote well. None. I tell people all the time, you see in my class, I look for even improvement status. A student coming from 30% to 35 to 40 is a real improvement. Not the student where they are 80 and they are 80 and then the next test them do 90, them do, no. That is consistency. Me I talk about real improvement when you see a penny do 30, did they are 35, they are 50 now. That is a real improvement. And me know it's not the first time the school I do this. This is the first time everybody see it in a real life. I believe that they should be separated at graduations, but not at this stage. Not at this stage. That's just my opinion. I don't think that they need to be separated at the infant stage and at the primary stage. High school, yes. Yes. Because you tell me, say, you come out high school and after 5 years you're still not a subject. From you going to high school, you know, it means that you're competent enough to learn the content. That's what it means. But by this logic, no one should feel away if me decides that me want to put my bright students them together and my dumb students them together. No one should feel bad if it is a case where I have students who are in between, I'm going to put them together, and students who are slow together. No one should have a problem. But you see how problematic that sound? You see how problematic that sound? That is a catalyst for disaster, you know. Because once the bright students them realize, oh, over there, sir, are the done fitting them are going to start pick on them. Me mix up everybody. Me tell them, say the only bright person in our class are me. And me one of 9 C6 subjects. Me tell all of them in there, say, all of them in there functionally illiterate. Because none of them have 5 C6 subjects as yet, including maths and English. And you cannot tell me that this isn't something that has been going on for the longest while in the classrooms. It's just that it just highlighted to the public at the school leaving ceremony. I still know what them been a do. But you know the funniest thing about it, everybody still learn the same content and everybody did the same PEP paper. If you're going to highlight students who did academically well, that's fine, that's understandable. But why is it that you need to segregate them at such a young age? No, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of it. At high school, yes, because them a big pitney now. Them need for them to go out in the real world now, right? But these are still kids. A lot of them do normally do well, and when exam time come, the anxiety take over. Me no know. All 3 times them want do in a one session. The anxiety just overflow them. The things that them normally do well pan them can't do. Me don't know. But I don't like the idea of it. I don't like it.
Because some students did not get the school's desired PEP score, they were not allowed to graduate in gowns and cap. So I guess they were only pinned, whatever the goal was and such. Based on the article, I'm also seeing that the students that did not get those desired grades were made to march behind the cap and gown students then. So only if you get a certain amount of grade, the Gleaner did not state the grade, would you wear a cap and a gown, and your graduation package would be 26,000. But if you did not get those grades, we're talking about primary school by the way, if you did not get those grades, you would sit at the back of the graduation in the back chairs, and you would march behind the one about the cap and the gown, and your package would be 16,000. I don't know how all the parents have never just decided, well, those who got the grades and those who didn't. I don't know why all of the parents just didn't decide that, okay, not sending my child to that graduation. Cool. But what I think the biggest thing to me is how it got to the desk of Mark Jackson, the principal, Mr. Mark Jackson, and he okayed it, unless it happened and he had no idea, nobody didn't tell him anything at all. He did not know about the arrangements, he did not know about the message that was sent with the packaging price. But I'm thinking that he knew, because based on the article, the Gleaner saying that they got a voice note and they could hear a male voice in the back, and it's allegedly the voice of Mark Jackson saying parents knew about the arrangement before the graduation day. They were advised. Alright, so my thing is, you're never going to graduate from primary school. You're not going to get another chance to graduate from primary school. I'm finding it hard to believe that the persons who suggested that this happened to primary school children are educators. Me, I send my kid to school for you, with a brain, the big brain that you have, who think that this is okay if you teach them. You're an educator and you do not understand the damage that you've done with this little stunt to children. I personally feel like making it to the end of primary school should be the reason for graduation. Should be the only thing that qualifies you to graduate. You finished primary school. You're already teaching these children that your best is not enough. We also don't know the learning style of these students. We don't know their background or what's happening at home, or how they process material and stuff like that. We do not know how these children got these grades. We do not know. But we're already telling them that on a day that should be joyous, that you should be celebrating with your friends, you have to got back. Yeah, then the grade, them make no sense. I'm also seeing, I also saw a section in the article that said something about the ones that did not get a good grade. Those ones were supposed to be doing sewing or something like that for some type of profession, and then on graduation day, they would dress as the profession or something like that. I just this is so sad. This is really, really so sad, and I cannot believe that this idea passed the desk of so many people, and they decided that adults decided that, okay, all right, adults decided that, okay, child is 11, the child is 12, them never perform, so back them off you go, and like, and some parents actually agreed to that shit. Not even thinking about the children, not even thinking about the children, and the fact that some of them probably are beating up themselves because they did not get the grades. You have students unaliving themselves because, not in this situation, but you always have students unaliving themselves because they did not get the grade that their parents wanted, and they feel like they're a failure, and it's the end of the world, and it's the end of life. What kind of message are you sending to these children as their educator and as the principal of their school? This is so disappointing. And you know what, though? I was also wondering how this could get to the desk of so many adults who we're thinking that are smart. But then when I went on the comments on Instagram on the Gleaner article and see how regular adults in Jamaica were paying taxes and were also voting, agreed. It's like, it's so sad. And I feel like we need, I feel like there should be a second graduation, free of cost, where all the children are in gowns. And not only that too, parents paid money to go and get their children here done, and then, everybody's thinking that they're going to take great pictures, they're seeing their friends for the last time, and all of that. And you had to make them feel like say them are not nothing because they did not get some desired grade. Crazy work.